Welcome to the Craft Beer Connoisseurs. I'm Tyler.
And I'm Brett. Along us again is producer Russell and no Chris.
Welcome back, Russell. And
not welcome back to Chris.
Chris.
That's 3 and done, right? But it's been 4 now.
Well, we're talking main episodes.
Oh, okay.
That's what the bylaws stated. The bylaws stated in the procedure that it's 3 main episodes because at the time, if you don't remember, Brett, we weren't really having producer specials.
It's true.
The idea was just to go with the mains, and then we had the request for some more content.
And that's what we did.
We listened to the people.
And there might be better content coming on later this year. We'll see.
Well, at least there'll be definitely more chatty producers than Russell, because 2 weeks in a row with a silent fella is almost starting to make us think this is a silent film.
That's what you get when you order a mime as a producer.
You got to have diversity. Oh my!
He's just miming over there.
You just trying to mime your way out of a box, Russell?
I appreciate the makeup, though. Anyway,
it's cute. It is cute.
Right?
It's a nice touch.
Yes.
Do you want to get started? What are we talking about here?
So we're going to be talking about farmhouse ales,
which might have been a giveaway in the title if you read the title.
This is true, yes. So with our latest featured brewery, Stillfields, being known for their barrel-aged and farmhouse-style beers, producer Mime Russell over here thought it was an ideal time for the first educational special of the season.
Ooh. We're talking about different kinds of barrels, right?
Education. We're talking about different kinds of barrels. There are round barrels and there are square, but no.
That'd be a decent way about the barrels.
Yes.
But we're not talking about that.
No. So we're talking about farmhouse ales.
We are. So farmhouse ale actually has its roots back to ancient Europe, where farmers brewed beer for consumption on the farm from their own grain. So we've kind of talked about this with, still fields. Mm-hmm. Again, kind of brewing with what you got and what you make yourself. A very kind of traditional way of farming. And kind of take care of yourself. So
yes. So I'm maybe thinking that you could probably figure this one out, but the flavor profiles of these beers include earthiness.
There's some earthiness to it.
But also you get some funkiness, some tartness coming from that. You're not bored getting on that sour territory by any stretch of the imagination.
No.
But you're getting that carbonation that has a little bit of that slight tartness there that's you can definitely notice.
Can be, which is, again, kind of pulled in with some of the lemon tart stuff that we've seen before. And funky.
Who doesn't love funky?
Take me to Funky
Marky
Town.
Mark and the Funky Munch.
There you go. So, as you would kind of imagine with farmhouse ales, is they're typically unfiltered. If we're sticking to the very traditional way of doing a farmhouse ale, that makes the most amount of sense. They weren't going to be going around and filtering out their beers because it was essentially, from the farm to the glass to the mouth. This again kind of retains all of its natural flavors of the hops themselves. So what you see is what you get, and what you get is what you taste.
No artificial things involved, right?
No. So keep it very earthy, as you said.
Popular times for brewing was for the late summer. Just got to mention that last episode with Stillfields with the main beers, but also Christmas time. But some areas where grain was plentiful, beer was brewed to be consumed daily. Who does not like to consume beer daily?
A daily brew.
Mm-hmm.
See, now, again, farming kind of lends its hand to having a consumption of some beer on the daily.
Right. I feel as though if you're have a big conglomerate of farming, at the end of the day, you might want to de-stress with a
doesn't even have to be the end of the day. I'm sure that there'd be
maybe during the day, maybe in the morning,
pints in the tractor.
Oh, breakfast beer.
Nothing wrong with that either.
Nope.
In
moderation.
That's a very good point. So this style has an enormous variation in its ingredients and brewing process. Again, I think that this, traditionally speaking, would vary depending on location. So you might have a group of farmers in one kind of jurisdictional area that would probably brew similar because they would give the same kind of information and intel back and forth about, hey, this is what I'm doing, this is what you're doing, and kind of come together. But I think that this, again, was more like a regionalization depending on what kind of ingredients you could farm at the time. Yes. So different regions, different kind of hops, different kind of barleys, whatever it might be that they're adding in, different adjuncts, but keeping it very, very much similar, but with those mild variations.
So the one thing about it, though, is that most of the microbreweries today are making beers that are marketed and listed as farmhouse ales. But in most of these, the connection to the actual farmhouse brewing tradition is lacking.
Except for last week.
Bingo.
And we've had other ones on too, like Steel Wheel, same sort of thing.
Yes.
again, and we made that comment in that episode. It is really nice to go out and actually have a pint in the field in which it is, growing the ingredients for the beer in which you're going to be drinking, presumably in the future. So, very nice. But commercial farmhouse breweries can be found in countries such as Finland, Estonia, and Lithuania, where some still have the original farmhouse yeast. Mm-hmm. So they're keeping those traditions kind of alive in those Scandinavian and European areas. So.
Yes, but, and producer Russell just coming in with fact after fact after fact.
Yeah, he's typing a lot. We're going to get through this in like 10 minutes.
He must have done really good at all the right type. Anyway, so over the last 10 years.
All the right type.
Yes.
Man, that is... Right? I haven't thought of that in forever.
Exactly. What about Math Circus?
Math Circus, I actually brought up like 3 or 4 months ago.
Yeah, so there you go.
You know, you can
all the right type. Boom, 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 boom. Anyway, so over the last 10 years, there has been a resurgence of interest in farmhouse brewing, partly driven by the interest in the unique brewing methods and ingredients using Quebec yeast in modern brewing. And that's one of the yeasts that has definitely been on the rise a lot in the past couple of years is that Quebec yeast, which I don't think I've really had a beer with that yeast involved. It has been terrible. Not gonna lie to you.
That's true. Yeah. So yeah, kind of going off different variants, what we were kind of talking about from different regions. Many countries have their own variant, with Belgium being the Saison and the Grisette.
Hey, I had one of those.
Did you?
I did.
Last week?
Yeah, I think so.
Was it good?
It was good.
Yeah?
I got a 3.5.
Okay. Well, I gave it a little higher.
Yes, you did.
So yeah, those two styles can frequently be found for purchase on Steelfield's website or at the brewery itself, which we talked about.
This guy.
Russell,
this guy over here.
You know, he tries to double up the marketing, but here's the thing is we already did Steelfields, but I guess if you can get the plug in, get the plug in. And
plug
you can also
find
Saisons and Grisettes if you go to the LCBO.
Yes.
And you find that you want to try... my recommendation is try something from different regions and see what those variations look like.
Another one that we haven't had them on the podcast yet, and hopefully maybe before the end of the year we will, that kind of specializes in the farmhouse stuff is Muse.
Yeah.
Just south of, where the heck is Scotland, like where Flux is, just south of there.
Yes.
So I do actually have one of those in my fridge. I didn't bring it for this episode because didn't need to.
See, and that's the thing is we didn't crack a beer this time because we wanted to make sure that with the proper education,
you gotta give beer education without drinking the beer for the most part.
Sometimes,
because if you have a lot of beers and then try to give beer education, things kind of get misconstrued.
And sometimes you struggle with that without the beer.
Yes, it's true.
So we want to make sure that we had full clarity,
and that's exactly what you get from me every single time is.
Full clarity. Now, what we also get from you, Fife, is a fun fact from Fun Fact Fife. Fife, what do you got for us, Fun Fact Fife?
So, if you guys remember the first episode of the season, we had Broken Rail.
We did.
Yes. And we also had the Bière de Garde.
Bière de Garde.
So, it's another style of farmhouse ale.
Right.
Yes. That's what I'm telling you. That's my fun fact.
And so, it's the thing is, again, like Broken Rail does a lot of traditional kind of style of beers. Mm-hmm. We know that... Chris did mention Paris before in last week's episode. So you see some of those more kind of traditional European breweries take their hand at this because it's I think it's something that's very core to the being of beer and the brewing culture, if you will, of the traditional European areas. Yes. Yeah. So
I mean, there's lots of other countries that like to do it.
Yeah, they do.
Right. Simple as that.
Yeah.
I'm telling you that right now. And you just told me that too.
I was just going to say that other countries' variants are difficult to pronounce.
I know, right?
So,
and like even in English, it's hard to pronounce things.
See, I don't like that. This is a cop-out, Russell. You know it, and I know it.
Oh, yeah.
Because even if they're difficult to pronounce, everybody knows I like to try my hand at it.
It's true. That's why we try to give you the most hardest to enunciate words.
I like that.
And even enunciate is a very, very big word.
I like the challenge of it. So, farmhouse ales. Grisettes, Saisons.
Go get yourself one.
Yeah, a bit of education on it. Brett, you mentioned a couple different places to get it. Yep. Again, go to the LCBO. Try a couple out from different regions. See what's kind of different with them. And if you have a brewery that has done a couple different Saisons or a couple different Grisettes, give them a try. And again, try and see what the difference is between the two because I'm sure they're not just creating the same beer and putting a different label on it. There will be some variations.
Pretty probably you're accurate on that one, yeah.
Yeah, there'll be some variations with it for sure. That is beer education in under 10 minutes.
Yeah, look at us go.
I like that. You know, these little sample sizes, we're going to call this a taster version.
You don't need to listen to us for a full hour. Like, it's a long time.
It's true.
So 10 minutes? Gotta go.
Little taster of education.
Yeah. Pay your bill and get out.
Nothing wrong with that. All right, let's wrap this puppy up. So that's going to be it for today's producer special. Thanks again for listening and being educated and also educating us. Keep on listening every other Thursday as Craft Beer Connoisseurs releases a new episode. And on or off Thursdays for these unique producer specials, which may or may not include education.
Mm-hmm. Or Chris. So remember to drink responsibly and don't drink and drive.
So from all of us and producer Russell and Chris, I'm Tyler.
I'm Brett.
And together, we're the Craft Beer Connoisseurs.